Motivation. What is it? Well, motivation comes from the ancient Mesopotamian language, motive, standing for motive, and Asian for Asian. That's... This is already starting off bad. Okay, making your mind up and motivation, and why I have a different take on what motivation is and what it means. In this video, I'm going to try and poorly... My wife's standing in the driveway wondering what the hell I'm doing. I'm filming a video! Love you! Let's try this again. All right, this video, I want to kind of share an idea, a concept with you guys on, excuse my paper rustling. If I didn't write some of this down, this would be a disaster more so than it already is. A lot of times people, especially when they're talking to me about fitness or goals or anything like that, they say, I'm looking for the motivation. I need the motivation to do things. Well, I want to break this down a little bit. And the thing I'm trying to convey in this video is you need to make up your mind, not look for motivation. So motivation is something we use to propel us toward a goal, toward goal-oriented behaviors. And most of us feel like we need motivation to even get going. But think of it this way. You don't need the motivation. You just need to do it anyway. You just need to do it, and the motivation will follow. To me, motivation is momentum. It's the momentum that begins after you begin a habit. And you're probably thinking, well, how am I supposed to do something if I don't have the motivation for it? So, if you ever looked outside, you haven't mowed your grass for a couple weeks, and you're like, man, I need to mow my lawn. But no one wants to. No one sits here and gets up and thinks to themselves, oh, I cannot wait to mow my grass today. Or maybe you do and you're a psychopath. But the point is, you realize that you've just got to do it. And so you make your mind up to go do it. You've made up your mind. What happens when you are done mowing the lawn, for example? You have that sense of accomplishment or that it's done, right? There's that feel-good state for a minute there where you put your hands on your hips and you look at the lawn and you go, okay, I'm glad I did that. This is probably a terrible example, but it's the first one I could come up with. So you bask in the accomplishment of the hard work paid off, right? To me, that's when motivation hits. If you sit around all day and wait for motivation, it's not coming to you. Maybe the word you're looking for is you need to be inspired. Maybe you're starting your fitness journey or your martial arts journey or just your self-improvement in general journey, and something had sparked an inspiration. Something inspired you, positive or negative. So the door's open now, and now you say, oh, well, I want to go to the gym, but I'm just not motivated. I need motivation. And I say that's nonsense. You do it anyway. You stop feeling sorry for yourself. You begin a ritual. You stick to it. And the motivation comes a few sets in when you're already there working. So I think maybe it's more about being inspired in the beginning. Like, is there someone you idolize? What's your reason for doing it? Find whatever it is and go. The first while you're making it a habit, is going to be the hardest. And then the motivation builds the momentum, and the momentum keeps you going. And so I guess there's a little bit of self-dialogue that happens with all this stuff. You've got to be careful with your self-dialogue that you have to yourself, with yourself, about yourself. Be more consciously aware of what you're saying. If you're always saying, I love soda too much, or I love drinks too much, or I love eating cake too much. Yeah, because your brain is a detective. And when you have this kind of self-dialogue, you are going to seek out reasons unconsciously as to why those things are true. And all of that is just limiting beliefs. You know, you are putting a ceiling above yourself, and you are not letting yourself grow when you have that kind of inner dialogue. If you have a goal, or you have a way that you envision yourself, if you're having internal dialogue like, I want to go, but I need motivation, I like food too much, you are keeping yourself here. You can't get there from here. You have to bring there over here. Yeah. But it all comes down to making up your mind. You know, fall in love with who you want to be and make your mind up. Why continue to keep telling the same story? In my career, I've had lots of talks and lots of discussions with drug addicts. And I know this has nothing really to do with fitness and setting goals and stuff, but it kind of does. Sometimes they'll be in trouble all the time, and they're strung out, and they would come in and out and in and out and in and out. And then finally, years I haven't seen them, and I run into them, and I was like, hey, you look wonderful. What happened? And everybody always tells me the same story. And it was like, I finally made my mind up. Nobody can make your mind up for you. You can be sent off to counseling and treatment and all these things that can help you, but unless you have made up your mind, nothing's ever going to change. And that goes the same with fitness and diet and weight loss and just self-improvement in general. You need to make up your mind. You'll know you've made up your mind when you have that wonderful sense of satisfaction after you have completed your session that day. Maybe you went and worked out that day, and then the next day you worked out that day. When you walk out of there feeling accomplished, I did something. That's contagious. Let it be contagious, and watch your inner dialogue. That's momentum. That is motivation. Motivation comes after a job well done. So go and do a job. Yeah, do a job. Do the thing. All of the things. So yeah, that's what I was trying to get out of my head today. I did it poorly, and I apologize, but that's what you get. So I hope you enjoyed the video anyway, and be good to yourself and be good to others. And the real reason I'm cutting this video so short, well, we're like 8-something minutes in, but I'm stopping now because I really got to go inside and pee. Oh. Too late. I'm just kidding. You imagine, right? How embarrassing that would be.